Introduction and practice of cultural sitting asana. And first of all, we need to understand again the definition of asana by a great sage, Patanjali, is a Sthiram Sukham asana. Comfortable, stable state of our physical form is the asana. And in that series, the very first asana we could call Sukhasana. So it is very simple. We a seated pose, and as in a seated shape, we need to attain a comfortable, stable physical form. That's in a comfortable, stable physical form, a comfortable, stable mind stays. So it's simple. We need to place our, first of all, straightening our legs and relaxing them a bit, then folding our legs and simply place the left knee above the right ankle or the right calf, and the right knee going to rest over the left foot. Simply crossing the legs and placing them in this position. Palms can be simply on the knees, Gyan Mudra or Chin Mudra, whatever comfortably we could sit in. Keeping the spine straight, shoulders back and down, back of the neck long. Observing our two sit bones resting on the ground. Shifting the torso slightly back so that the top of the head aligns with our tailbone. Shoulders stay soft. You could keep your eyes closed, head and neck in one line, and breathe in a very gentle way. Benefits of our all sitting asanas, especially starting from this very comfortable, stable, and easily performed asana by many people, those who like to practice meditation or all different pranayama, or simply sitting in a stable shape. This Sukhasana help all of them. In a seated pose, we could balance and focus better. Because as in other asanas, we able to stretch either our left or right or front or the back of our body to purify it. But the purpose is to attain the seated pose in which we can focus better. So the Sukhasana gives a space and possibility to us to focus. And the purpose of all focus is our spine gets straight. The prana may rise into the spine and Sushumna. This was our Sukhasana. Second seated pose, another important is Swastikasana. In Swastikasana, we simply fix our foot between the, like, let's say, right foot fixed between the left calf and the left thigh, and take the left foot and pull it up in between the right calf and the right thigh. Placing the palms on our knees in Chin Mudra or Gyan Mudra, any meditative gesture, or simply Anjali Baddha, whichever you feel comfortable and stable, while our both foot fixed between thigh and the calf muscle, straighten the spine, shift the torso slight back and making the neck tall and straight along with the spine. Whichever position we like to fix and set it up. Gently, when you fix your feet, your foot between the calf and thighs and spine gets straight and you sit in a meditative shape. This symmetrical, neutral position of your legs, arms, and the torso invites the states of concentration and focus. The circulation and the spine get better. Even in the lower abdomen, it gets softens down. All the disturbances happen from the different fluctuations, the impulses of nerves which travel from the base of the spine to up to the head become calmed down, lowers down, become less. Prepares one for a better focused and present state within. The next practice of our introduction, in our practice of cultural sitting asana, comes said to be the best seated pose for all meditators and practitioners for internal calming purpose, named Siddhasana. For that, we need to place our left heel right towards the perineum muscles or towards our Mula Bandha area, while our left foot is touching to right thigh and pressing, and we press it onto it and even go more on top of it. Trying to place the right heel somewhere just above the left heel and above our genital organs. And fix our right foot between the left calf and thigh like Shrustikasana, but our genital organs are in between the two heels. At the same time, we can pull our lower foot up between the calf and the right thigh. Palms on thigh, knees, and lift the chest and shoulders back. Hands can be in Chin Mudra, Gyan Mudra, or Anjali, but whichever you feel more stable in your meditative, stable, seated pose. Said to be the best pose for the meditators and those who can meditate into. The lower heel, which goes towards the mole one that presses that area, brings our attention. It helps to activate the prana from there. And as our upper heel goes up on this and our genital organs, it presses and guides the energy towards from Muladhara towards Swadhisthana chakra. The energy inward and upward with the mudras like Vajrolis, Sajolis naturally start to happen to a practitioner. It balances the hormones of a reproduction into the lower area. A better blood circulation and stable, less disturbance and activities goes up. A mental stability naturally rises up into a practitioner when he sits into this pose more stably. The purpose of all hatha practices to balance the prana in Ida and Pingala and bring it into the Sushumna, and that's called the beginning of Kundalini awakening. The best seated pose for all meditators, and at last it brings to a neutral state, Shunyavastha, a clear, peaceful, extreme experience of a meditator. It's like first you do, then it happens, and then happening will hold you into it for longer. A great practice named Siddhasana. Word Siddha means being perfect. So the asana of the perfect ones, or the practice of this asana made you more perfect and towards the state of perfection. the Siddhasana. The next practice, Padamasana. Again, before you perform any seated pose, you can always relax your legs, moving ankles and toes. And then placing our left foot over the right thigh and then the right foot over the left thigh. As we do this pose, it really gives a sense of stability and our legs are crossed. So one should try to lower both the knees towards the ground. If anyhow, any reason, if the knees are not touching you, in the beginning, you may get something to support under the knee so that there's an equal weight balance transfer on your knees. As you cross the legs, there's an extra pressure and stretch on the ankles and the knees. It gives a great sense of stability at our sit bones, and the area below the navel, it got completely grounded, stable, and perfect. All the nadis, the nerves which enter from the base, the spine, they somehow become very stable and no more fluctuation comes from them to upward level. As the physical stability comes, the mental stability rises in. In general, when we are dealing with the external world, our breath is quite quick and fast as mental fluctuations are there. As you set this asana, Padamasana, it really calms down the fluctuations into your mind and the head. Breath slows down, the muscles of the body get soft and stable, the blood circulation get balanced. The physical stability naturally invites the mental stability, and one can meditate. Many techniques of our internal practice of like mudras, bandhas are being requested to practice Padamasana. After establishing into Padamasana, then those techniques, when being practiced, the one can get a great effect out of it. A great stability comes by the practice of Padamasana. As prana rises up in the spine, it stabilizes the mind, and one can shift from the state of dharana to dhyana. Comfortable, stable state of asana and a comfortable, free and stable state of mind. Next seated pose, the practice is Vajrasana. So we can relax our legs every time before we perform. For Vajrasana, we need to fold our legs in this shape so that our thighs become really tight, like a thunderbolt, Vajra. Our thighs become like that. So the positioning of the legs is by the side. The heels or great toes are touching, spine is straight. Like the heels are wide apart by the side of our hips and toes are touching. Spine is straight. Maintaining this position gives an extra straightening to our spine and stability to a person into his seated pose. For many practitioners, for those bending the hips in a particular position is hard, they can use this as their meditative pose. And this is the only pose in the whole wide varieties of asanas practiced, which only this asana can be practiced right after eating our foods. As the spine is straight, it gives the space, enough space to our abdominal area. Digestion get better. One can digest the eaten food better by practicing this asana, Vajrasana. The spine, head and neck in one line. As it opens the space into the stomach and the chest, one can breathe properly. A spatial nadi named Vajra nadi get affected, so reproduction and the urinary system get better. The signals to the head go smoother by this in Vajrasana. The disturbing thoughts reduces from the mind. There's some traditions where in place of washing the feet of the great sages when they come, they simply wash the great toes. And said to be there's a special energy coming out of the great toes when you touch the feet to somebody, you touch the great toe, you receive that energy of the blessings. And in this posture, we touch the great toe to each other, and the energy can a complete circuit or circle within us, and with that circle helps to retain and absorb and utilize our own energy with a complete circuiting it in and up. Even help to heal the hernia. In some practices, the heels, one need to sit on top of the heels strap. The heels are right below our sit bones. It presses a spatial marma. And one can heal even the piles. The problem in the menstruation of the female friends can be balanced by practicing this asana more. The spine is straight, the sciatic problem clears, and even it lasts topmost the energy into spine, and when it travels up, the prana called Kundalini comes to one. This is a great practice. One can be done in the form of Vajrasana. The next practice we do Singhasana. There are a few ways of performing Singhasana. One is simply in Vajrasana, you made your knees a bit wide and you sit a little more inside the legs. And that's where you're placing your palm, fingers pointing in so that you can stretch and open your front part of the body. One positioning of the legs and arm. In second position, somewhere in some tradition told that you can cross your legs. You cross your legs and you sit on your heels, and then you spread the finger and place on your knees while you lift your chest and shoulders wide. In one tradition, simply you place your palms in front, spread the fingers, and you stretch your chest out and head up. No matter which one you choose to, and you learn from the tradition, your chest is open, your fingers, toes, legs, arms is opening more. And the final position to be done in all is opening the eyes maximum, opening the mouth maximum, and stretching the tongue out. There's one more option. In some tradition, they ask to hold the breath and stretch the tongue out and eyes open. And in one tradition, they create sound with exhale and stretch the tongue out and open the eyes. So with the situation, or you learn from tradition, the best is to give even more better effect by holding for some time and creating soft sound and stretching at last. Just like one can repeat a few times, and it benefits and heals many things into a person who practices it. The Siddhasana. The best benefit and to save an extra expenses is by the female friends, those who go for a facial. If you do a few times, it's a free facial. It opens the pores of the skin of the face, especially. It opens the chest, so extra space being invited in the lung capacity in lungs area. Especially all the eyes, ears, throat, etc. They all get a good circulation, a good opening, and all problems of them has been healed. As we stretches the throat area, the thyroid problem can be healed by it. And especially as we stretches the frontal, the head area, the hypothalamus pituitary axis, which is the responsible of many endocrine, exocrine, or endocrine, exocrine nervous system. The secretions happen of the hormones because of that get better. So a wide variety to support us into the healing of our system and stabilizing the Singhasana, the lion pose gives us. Next practice, Gomukhasana. We place our right leg in this position, simply crossing, and then left leg over it. Bringing the knees on top of each other, trying to sit on our sit bones when the shape between both the knees comes like a mouth of a cow. That's what the cow, the go, the mukha, the mouth. As our left leg is on top, our right leg arm goes up and crosses down. Then we bring the left hand from down and trying to reach and catch our fingers at the back, pushing the head back to the right elbow, lift the chest and stretching the arms and the legs here. Holding for some time and then repeating the same other side. So now you could bring the left leg and then right leg on top. Same position done as left leg under, right leg on top. Then our left arm from the top goes back. You can shift it back and right arm from down and trying to reach to catch your fingers and stretching your arms, pushing the head to your left elbow and straightening arms. Hold as far easy for you. And then gently releasing the arms and the legs. The Gomukhasana, it really stretches our arms, our shoulders, our legs as we sit on top of each other and gives the connection to the organs, especially the reproduction organs get affected and we can heal the problems there and they can function better. And especially in the female friends when they are pregnant, if the area got too loose by performing it, it holds it back. The nervous system, the respiratory system, the lungs, by stretching them in particular position, opening the chest, it benefits in many ways in that area in our chest form. All the organs in that area helps, and even our as we push our head, it strengthens the neck and it opens the arm. When a spondylitis at the neck area, the pressure of the disc on the nerve can be healed by the help of this practice, Gomukhasana. Great benefits to heal while seated and stretching in this form. Next practice, Veerasana. In some tradition, simply Veerasana as you place your one leg and they keep it like place and down, or they just put the other foot on the thigh and then like that. And in some tradition, they sit with one leg into the Vajrasana and making the thigh straight, another leg placed in front in this shape. One foot on the thigh, another palm in this position. As you perform on one side, you need to perform other side too. So like same, one foot is up, then you need to place other foot up and sit in that Veerasana, or taking the one foot into the Vajrasana shape while sitting in. Releasing that position, coming to neutral position. Again, as we stretches the leg and we sit in that shape, it strengthens the thighs, straighten the spine. Also, it gives the freeness to one side of the spine and another spine stretches, or area where the kidneys and urinary system get better. Also, the digestion get better in that position. It balances the right and left ear up in line, get the mind into the focus state afterwards. Gives a sense of stability among the whole physical and energetic system. It presses marma on where the heel is being placed into our knee and back at the sit bone area. So in this way, the Veerasana helps us a lot too.